In 2018, I purchased a iPad Pro, 12.9 inch, 256 gig. I've been using that with the stylus, with the Apple Pencil for a very long time and absolutely love it. Um, I decided to sell it to a friend because a few years ago I bought the iPad Mini, that Mini 6, that was to be used together in tandem with the iPad Pro, the really big one and the really small one, kind of using them together. Ultimately, what ended up happening is I was drawn more so to the Pro because of the size. I really like the 12.9 inch. The smaller screen size, I didn't really like as much. And even though it was more portable, it really wasn't that beneficial for me because the way I was carrying iPads and the way I was carrying my gear, I mean, I'm using something like this, which is a teenage engineering book bag, and either one can fit in there just fine with no issues. And so ultimately, my Mini 6 was at the house, and it was kind of just not being used that much, right? So I actually didn't drop off the 12.9 that I'm selling, but it's already sold to a friend of mine. So he's getting a great deal, I think. I think I'm getting a good deal, good value back for it. So it's all good. So the plan was to use my Mini 6 for a while and see what that feels like now that that's the only iPad that I have. And also, when I go to these cafes and stuff, use my, not MacBook, but my Windows laptop, and just kind of use these in conjunction to each other. When I'm doing anything that requires typing or multitasking, things like that, I'm perfectly suitable and perfectly good to go to use my laptop. But carrying two devices versus just carrying one device, my thought was, okay, well, what would it look like for me to check out this Magic Keyboard, which was on sale for 179 for the 12.9 inch, and actually get a bigger iPad Pro 12.9, the newer one. And the reason that I'm like, okay, well, why get the newer one when I can just like keep the original one that I decided to sell. Um, and the reason for that decision was because I really, really was curious about, and that's what this video is going to be about, iPad Chronicles. I'll title it, but I'll probably say something more along the lines of LumaFusion versus Final Cut Pro. So I was very, very, very curious about using Final Cut Pro, and I didn't have the iPads to allow me to download that software because it wasn't compatible, right? The M2 iPad is compatible. So my thought was sort of on a whim, like I wanted to see what ultimately this configuration, which is the Magic Keyboard and my fingerprinted up M2 256 gig, which I just bought yesterday, iPad Pro. And I was using it and I'm like, couple early thoughts. First of all, if I wanted to use this setting as like okay, I don't need my iPad with me, my mini, or my laptop, I can just use this. Sure, it works, but do I prefer typing on this versus my laptop? Absolutely not. It's smaller keyboard, so it doesn't feel as comfortable for sure. Um, Also, the iPad, I think, what's his name? MKBHD talked about this in one of his videos. This is not really a laptop feel to it because of the fact that the iPad is so heavy. It's like a top heavy sort of configuration. This is light, so even as I'm holding it, it's feeling like it wants to tilt over. It'll never happen when it's on a level surface, but if it's on your lap or something, it's not ideal in my opinion. And then the most important thing here is, let's talk subscriptions for a second. You guys know I'm a music producer. I was very curious and excited about Final Cut Pro and about Logic Pro coming to the iPad. I knew, just like the rest of the world, that they're going to have subscriptions, $50 a year. I can make that back if these softwares are going to level up my workflow, right? And the plan here was to give Final Cut Pro like a good 30 days, 25 days of just, using the 30-day free trial and just like learning it, watching YouTube videos on it, educating myself, and just kind of giving it a fair shot to see what this feels and looks like compared to LumaFusion. Then the problem set in. And the problem is and this might be just a problem for me, I'm not exactly sure, but you guys can let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I'd be curious to know, everyone else's thoughts. But they have a built-in tutorial that comes with, like a video tutorial that comes with Final Cut Pro. And I was very excited to like go through every single one of those today. I start going through them, and after I get to like the ninth or 10th video in this series, which, okay, 9 or 10 is good for sure. from videos 10 onward, so there's several more to kind of get the full grasp of this platform. They charge you for it. So even though you're paying a subscription to use the software, which of course I'm not, I'm still in the free trial, but after 30 days you'd be, paying a subscription. They also want to charge you for learning how to use it from the integrated tutorial, and I'm not okay with that. I understand as an entrepreneur, as someone who has a tutoring business. I tutor math, give piano lessons. I understand like the benefits from the company's perspective on having a subscription model, which is, it is what it is. You make the decision, people are going to subscribe and hopefully get value from it, and it's all good. But when you start kind of feeling like you're being nickel and dimed a little bit, like immediately upon trying to just learn the software, that's where I felt really, really, really bad about it. So now the new plan is as follows. I'm gonna return several things here. I'm returning this $179 Magic Keyboard, which was a great price. It was a great deal. I suspect that they're coming out with something new. I think this is 3 or 4 years old, so I suspect they're gonna have a new version of this probably next year. I'm returning the iPad Pro that I just bought. I was planning on using it for 90 days or up to 90 days because that's where I got it from Costco, but it's going to go back tomorrow. Sorry, Costco, for returning something, but it just doesn't, it just didn't, it's not sitting well with me. So both of these are going back. I'm going to go back to the iPad mini and use that as my primary iPad device, creation device, and treat it as such, and I have every intent to purchase a new iPad Pro whenever the new one comes out. And please, for the love of God, please have something new or different or special besides hover and a better chip on the next iPad. I was talking to my man Brandon Rico earlier today, and he brought up some really good points. Like, can we get an additional port? Can we get maybe 2 USB-C ports on it, like the Mac? That would be pretty cool. Can we? I know I would love to get a headphone jack on there, but I don't see that happening. But can we get that back? Maybe now that we have, Logic on here, maybe they do revert back. I highly doubt that though. And I mean, not even can we, but we have to get, the camera, front-facing camera on this thing is on the side. No one holds their iPad vertically ever, so that's foolish. We need that right there. We need that right there in the center. So yeah, that's my little rant for today. I'm not sure when the other video that I'm uploading right now, but I just when I'm actually going to share that one. But I just finished uploading a video to the channel showing such exuberance and excitement about my purchase of this, which I just recorded yesterday, and it's a great video, and it is going to get it's going to get shared to the channel because it's a really, really good video, and very brief, so it's not taking up too much time like this video is starting to do right now. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. So I guess my question for you guys is, for those of you who use your iPad, who's using LumaFusion still, or who has switched over to Final Cut? And what kind of features, what kind of things do you guys suspect that we're going to see on the next iPad Pro? It's something about, and so shame on me for just jumping the gun and buying this yesterday, but something about the fact that this is so similar to the previous one, and so similar to the one before that. And the only real difference for me was the fact that I'd be able to use Final Cut Pro in here, and just after a few seconds of just getting, blasted with that, hey, got to pay more money for the tutorial. It's just like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm not even gonna take the time to learn that. LumaFusion has been, nothing short of just an amazing and fun experience to actually video edit. It's actually fun to use. I'm very, very, very keen on getting handwriting on the screen, and of course Final Cut has that, but yesterday I was just experimenting. I spoke to Terry Morgan, that episode, for the second time. That episode is going to be out soon, and I just got to experimenting with green screen on GoodNotes and green screen on Procreate, and it works super well. So I can see myself adapting that into my workflow for sure. So yeah, that's the end of the video. We want to keep these videos and these cafes to about 10 minutes because it just feels right. So we're approaching that right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time out to check out this video. Hopefully it was insightful for you guys. And I need to go home now and pack this iPad up and return it and get my G back. G meaning 1,000. Yeah. Okay. Have a good one. See you guys later, and catch you on the next one. Peace.